96.7 KCAL rocks. It is Patrick in the morning, and on your Thursday, we got to talk some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Hey, man, it's going on beginning tonight, man. We got a huge game on Thursday Night Football as we lead into a very important weekend across the NFL. Tonight, it's going to be the Chargers taking on the Broncos in a key AFC West matchup. The Broncos have been one of the surprising teams in the NFL this season. The Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, I think we all kind of had high expectations. I think they're exactly where we thought they would be at this point of the year. They're both in a good spot to make the playoffs, but this is a very important game for both these teams with only 3 games left in the regular season.
Yes, with the Chargers, before all the injuries like J.K. Dobbins, and then I don't know how Ladd McConkey's doing this week, but they are about a year ahead of schedule. And I think when they were doing so well, we thought Harbaugh, he does the instant turnaround, but they're still going to make the playoffs. He seems to still be doing his Harbaugh things. But boy, in comes Denver, and Bo Nix and Sean Payton, they certainly seem to have a partnership that's working well.
Yeah, we were all kind of skeptical, I think, because when he brought in Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos and that didn't work, we're like, okay, well, maybe he's not the best. Sean Payton's not the best fit in Denver. Maybe the game has passed him by a little bit, but that's certainly not the case. They brought in Bo Nix, who is not your typical rookie quarterback. We have said that time and time again. And they look like a bona fide playoff team. They're going to make the playoffs, barring some crazy collapse here at the end.
He got the quarterback he wanted. I mean, the bottom line is Sean Payton played pig vomit, like in the Howard Stern movie Private Parts. I will make him quit. Got rid of Russell Wilson, and he got Bo Nix, and it certainly seems like he made a good move. He's very, very Drew Brees-like.
Yeah. No, a good move for everybody involved. The Broncos are a surprise team this season. Big game, as I mentioned, tonight against the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. And for your boy Russell Wilson, man, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've had a big bounce back season. They're going to play the Baltimore Ravens as part of a Saturday doubleheader. So we got football tonight. We got a doubleheader on Saturday. Then we got obviously a bunch on Sunday. But on Saturday, we've got Steelers and Ravens. And then we also have Texans and Chiefs. So Thursday and Saturday are 3 of the biggest games across the NFL. We get them right at the beginning of the weekend.
Yes, and Patrick Mahomes is practicing, so We'll see what happens there. There was a lot of talk that he was going to sit out a couple games.
Yeah, that's the big storyline, right? Is if Patrick Mahomes injured his ankle the previous week against the Browns, would he play this week? He has been in practice. He has been limited. There's still being kind of hush-hush if he's actually going to play. But I think they realize more years than ever they need home field advantage in the playoffs to make another Super Bowl run because they are not invincible. If they have to go on the road, let's say like Buffalo, it's not going to be easy. They need that home field advantage, and I think that's what they're playing for right now, and they're going to try to get Patrick Mahomes out there.
The original noise-making stadium, Arrowhead.
Yeah, man, that's... When I go back to my old days, we're about the same age, Mile High Stadium in Denver, Arrowhead in Kansas City. Like those were iconic places where it's going to be super loud. The fans are going to be nuts. Kansas City is not an easy place to win, and they know that. And that's why they need that home field advantage. Like I said, probably this year more so than the previous seasons.
I remember an infamous interview where Lincoln Kennedy from the Raiders, the offensive lineman, said that in Arrowhead, you could have a teammate screaming in your ear hole and you cannot hear him.
Yeah, it's not a dome. It's open. It's open field, right? So that's what makes it crazy. So, yeah, there is definitely a home field advantage there in Kansas City. So, huge games leading up to Sunday. And Sunday, when you take a look at the NFC West, we got the Rams taking on the Jets. Hopefully the Jets can do your Seahawks a favor. I don't know if that'll happen. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will go into his dark room for a couple days and come out glorious. But the Rams will take on the Jets, and the Vikings get the Seahawks. That's a tough test for Seattle to be hosting Minnesota, who right now has plenty to play for. They might be the number 1 seed in the NFC when it's all said and done, or right there, at least in the mix.
Yeah, they think the coach could be coach of the year. We'll see if that happens. And another injury watch. Geno Smith's knee. So he looks like he's practicing. It looks like he's going to play.
Yeah, if it's going to be the Sam Howell show, that's going to be a tall mountain to climb for the Seahawks against Minnesota.
Yeah.
So we'll see. A lot of quarterback stuff going on. Speaking of quarterbacks, real quick, one more NFL note. Michael Penix Jr., the former quarterback for the Washington Huskies, also the former quarterback for the Indiana Hoosiers. He is getting his first starting gig for the Atlanta Falcons against the Giants this weekend, replacing Kirk Cousins. And Patrick, I heard a crazy stat. This is the first time in NFL history where a team who does not have a losing record has changed their starting quarterback after week 10 of the season. So this late in the year, it's unprecedented to change your quarterback when you are right there in the playoff hunt.
Especially to go to a rookie. Normally, when the season is like, man, there's always next year. Then you throw the rookie in there to get some experience. But they're still in the mix.
Yeah.
That tells me, I think they think Penix can do something, maybe provide a spark. I guess we'll find out. Cousins has just fallen off a cliff. He thought maybe he was going to get another big check after this. It does not look that way.
Yeah, he had a great first half of the season.
Yeah.
But I think he's only one touchdown in the last 6 games or something like that. So yeah, you're right. When you say fall off a cliff, he literally disappeared. So yeah, the Falcons are going to give the ball to Michael Penix Jr. And everyone was, remember, questioning at the Atlanta Falcons when they drafted Penix, because they're like, what are you doing? You just gave Kirk Cousins, $180 million or whatever that was. It was a huge number. And, what are you doing drafting a quarterback? So I don't know why you give someone that much money and still feel like in the back of your mind, he's not the answer, where you have to go get a quarterback in the draft anyways. But that's what the Falcons are doing, going with Penix.
The Broncos got out of the Russell Wilson deal. I guess the Falcons will have to do the same thing.
Yeah. And someone will pick up Kirk Cousins. Someone out there will bring him in. Maybe the Saints. There's, talk Derek Carr might be out of New Orleans in the offseason. So there's always lots of quarterback movement. I love it. Guys, Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, man. Look at that. It worked out. So
yeah, it did.
We're just looking for a happy ending for Kirk Cousins. All right, let's talk some college football. The playoffs begin this weekend. It starts on Friday night. We've talked about this before. Indiana will take on Notre Dame. This is the first time in the college football era, when they've gone to the football playoff format, that 2 teams from the same state have played in the playoffs. So I think that makes it exciting. Notre Dame, obviously, the legacy and the tradition. Indiana, one of the Cinderella feel-good stories of the season. I like the Fighting Irish in this one, but Indiana would be it would be cool to see them advance, because they're a basketball school. Nobody saw them being in this spot right now.
No, I like the Irish as well, but it is the Battle of Indiana, so it should be very interesting. That state is on fire right now.
It's awesome, man. I think it's maybe a new rivalry between the Irish and the Hoosiers. And the other 3 playoff games, Patrick, are on Saturday. So we got Indiana, Notre Dame on Friday night, and the other 3 all on Saturday. So we'll find out who's going to advance in the college football playoffs, which is very, very fun. And right now, usually we had that lull of college football this time of the year, all these bowl games. I watched the LA Bowl presented by Gronk or whatever it was last night, UNLV and Cal. But now this weekend we actually have big time significant college football games on top of all those NFL games. Man, it's awesome.
Right, a lot of football. I'll take it.
Yeah, man, I'll eat it all up. And then finally, it's not football related, but don't sleep on your NBA Cup world champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. We knew we were going to have a new champion when the Lakers did not make the in-season tournament, also known as the NBA Cup now. The Milwaukee Bucks beating the Oklahoma City Thunder in that championship game to be your NBA Cup champion. I don't know if there's a lot of weight to it. I know the players all got a little more than $500,000 for winning it, so they had an incentive to do this. But for whatever it's worth, the Bucks are the champs.
Right. It just seems like people are having trouble connecting with the NBA anymore. The NBA has somehow become somewhat disconnected for sure. They say ratings are down by 48%. Yeah. A lot of people are blaming the NBA on TNT and Charles Barkley and Shaq, just telling it how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people agree with them. There's no defense. It's just like watching a weird shooting contest. What was it the other day? There was a game where between 2 teams, I think there was 78 threes shot. I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah, and the Mavericks, and we talked about the Mavericks and Warriors the other day. They had 48 made three-pointers in this game. And, I've seen the same thing. It's going around social media right now that the NBA ratings are tanking while the other leagues are all going up. And, the Golden State Warriors, they made the three-point shot cool, and they did it very, very well. But now every team out there thinks they can do it. But when you go, 4 for 23 from the three-point line, that's bad basketball. Nobody wants to watch that. So, again, we've talked about it before. We're about the same age, man. I love those 90 to 85 games. Every basket, every possession means something because, it's going to be a low-scoring game. They take pride on the defensive end. I miss those days. And maybe the pendulum will swing back the other way at some point. But right now, every team feels like they got to put up, 30 three-point attempts every single game.
Kids play defense out there, man. I love it. We cover all our sports with our guy Pep on Monday. We'll know a lot more about the landscape of foosball and many things else as well. Pep, tell them how to get your stuff.
Yeah, it's a big weekend. If you want football, it starts tonight, and you've got it all weekend long. You can get my stuff all weekend long as well on Inland Sports. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, Inland Sports on YouTube. Just find us at Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.